one of the things that we haven't necessarily talked about on the podcast, but is so prevalent, is like sexual violence. And we just know so many people who have experienced sexual violence. It is all around us all of the time.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. It's like such a common experience. Such a common experience that I feel like has become so normalized that I think that it's like more rare that it hasn't happened than has. Particularly for women. At least that's my experience of what I've seen.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's become so normalized that people still don't feel comfortable talking about it either, even if it is something that we all agree happens. I don't know what the statistic is, but I think it's something like 1 in 5 women have been like assaulted or something like that. So
that's terrible. I know at least 5 women. I know at least 5. I know at least 6.
You know? Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so there's obviously something that is still keeping us from having those conversations.
Yeah.
And I wish that we could have more conversations and more vulnerability around like our experiences, and also like the experiences of the people we know that have gone through it, that have completely altered their personality, their interests, their mood, everything is impacted.
Like their career choices, like where they live, like everything is transformed by it. Yeah. I think in violence in general, I think that well, one, it's definitely hard, I think, to talk about sexual assault or sexual violence, because if you don't even believe yourself, how are you going to even articulate whatever you're saying out loud? Because the minute one person asks a question, even if they're trying to clarify something, like all of that, I think unravels really quickly. And the other part of it, I think you and I talked about earlier, that feels also really important, is the bridge between a traumatic experience and all of the ways that it untangles your life that you might not even like necessarily realize as you're like surviving, right? As you're doing all these things to kind of unknowingly protect yourself, or to the best of your ability on the other side even.
Yeah. And I remember the first time that I like learned about sexual violence, I guess. I don't know what else better way to say it, but I was in middle school, and one of my really, really close friends at the time like had been assaulted by someone in her family.
It's more who you know who you don't know.
What? And I was so grateful that she said anything. We were like 12, 13? Yeah. She was so brave to even articulate something like that. And I was just, I don't even remember what it felt like to hear that. I was just so like distraught on her behalf. And I was like, you're so young. Like we're so little.
Yeah, like what do you mean?
And this is like an older person that's in your life that's supposed to be protecting you. And they're not.
Yeah.
And they're not.
And they have all the power.
And so that was the first time, before I learned about statistics and all of these things, that I was like, oh, it's the people around you that could do that to you. The people that are supposed to be protecting you. So
yeah, where does that leave you?
Where does that leave us?
Unprotected.
Unprotected.
And like unaware.
And
like forming new connections. What was the word? Neuroplasticity.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, I feel like the younger you are, your brain is still doing a lot of like, okay, this means this means this, and if those things happen early in your life, you're building like different connections around like what safety means. Maybe now you consider that to be safe, right? Like it creates this entire other world of problems that you have to spend your entire life just like working through. That's insane.
And it's like, especially if it happens within your own home. Yeah. Now.
Because like, are you going to be homeless? You got to go home.
You have to go home.
You got to like pick the danger, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. And then for a lot of us too, I think I was implicitly taught that it's like, oh, it's always like the women's fault.
Yeah.
You wore the wrong thing. You said the wrong thing.
You might have friendly.
Yeah. You know, you might have opened your eyes a little bit too much. Like you made eye contact.
Yeah. You smiled at someone.
Yeah.
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 And then it's like, so then the other side of that is like, then women learn to be like really cold and like stoic. And then everyone's like, that's why you're not in a relationship. And it's like, well, what the fuck you want for people to do? Safe or not safe, you know?
It's like, how do we protect ourselves?
Yeah. If every single thing is going to trigger someone to feel like they have some entitlement to your body, like, might as well live under a rock.
Right.
And then that's also, has its own layer of problems as well.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think about something happening that young and the kind of impact that has on your body.
Yeah.
And your relationship to your body. Because it's like, if someone took advantage of me that young, then my body is not mine.
Yeah.
My body now belongs to someone else because I didn't have agency in that, in that scenario. And I think about like, I didn't know what consent was until I went to college, probably. Yes. Maybe high school, but it wasn't that terminology. Not really. Yeah. And so.
But even consent, I feel like even when you're in college, like it's like the way at least we were taught about in high school was like yes means yes, no means no. But there's so much other nuance that we're not discussing, right? Yeah. Like there's like verbal consent, non-verbal consent. There's so many other, you can like revoke consent anytime. All those things are not part of the conversation. So, there's so many spaces where like maybe you did consent initially, but you don't. Now you're trapped, and it creates all these other, different kind of situations that you end up in, especially in a college setting, because you're kind of alone in that space. Yeah, like you're in charge of yourself. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I hadn't learned about the fact that you could revoke consent until college for sure. I was like, oh shit, really?
I could be like, yeah, but like, nah.
I could be into it and not. Wow, that's great to know. Again, language is helpful to know what your options are and what your choices are. And I wouldn't say that we have better terminology now around any of these pieces like consent, safe sex, safety.
Yeah. I don't think the language has changed. I don't even know if the use of it has changed. And I think like what you were saying about like relationship body, like if you experience that kind of trauma early, that is like, I think about all of my high school students that I taught, middle school kids, like that's where all like harming your body starts. Yeah. Right. It's like, it's always like an indicator of some sort of violence at home when young folks come back to school and I'm like, you don't think your body is yours. You're harming what you think so that someone doesn't feel like they want you because you are now like you have a scar or whatever it may be. So like there's all these ways that people try to protect themselves that are harmful because they don't know how else to create safety. And that only just keeps going once you get to college. It just gets worse, I think. You have more tools available to you as you get older, or more ways to cause harm to yourself.
More ways to cause harm to yourself. And I think everyone finds their own ways to cope. Because you have to. There's no alternative. Yeah. There is none.
Haven't seen one yet. There is. Don't know her.
Yeah. And I'm sure there are healthy ones and all these things. And like you don't really land there. But even coming back to the piece, it's like if you experience sexual violence at some point and then someone tells you that you were the reason why that happened to you, then you are going to believe, oh, I am deserving of this experience. Yeah. I created this experience for myself.
If it ever happens again, it's because of me. Yeah.
And it's like I put myself in those situations. I wore what I wasn't supposed to. And you just see all the ways that it limits our self-expression.
Even then when you step outside of that environment, like you don't know how to say no. You get taken advantage of maybe in a work setting. Like all these other things become now true in your life because your initial autonomy was taken from you. And you can't heal autonomy you don't have. You don't feel like you have it. It's not yours. What are you going to heal? Yeah. It's very terrible. Being a girl is hard.
I mean, we've said that in a thousand different ways.
I know. I'm just thinking about it again. I'm like, damn, being a person in general also was really quite a challenge.